Hey traders, welcome to the review of week 39 of trading for 2025. So here you can see on the screen the portfolio as it currently stands. Fair few positions on the go. I opened a bunch last Tuesday and I put a video up when I opened those explaining the reasons why I got into those trades at the time I did. So let's just work through each trade as they currently stand, have a chat about them, review their performance and see where we're going forwards. I did have to make a couple of adjustments later in the week, mainly on, what was it on? It was UPST and PayPal. So let's get into it. So UPST, if you remember, I had the 60 strike at UPST, and that was based on some solid support and resistance along that line. Tested a few times both on the way up and on the way down. It broke through that on Thursday and dropped below my 60 strike. So I took the decision, although I had a lot of time left on it, to roll that one. Now with UPST, it's a hugely volatile stock, so it makes premiums really juicy, which makes rolling very easy. So I rolled that out to the 24th of October and down by $4 to 56, and I actually managed to do that for a pretty decent credit of 86 cents per share. I've only got one contract, so that was $86, which was nice. And as you can see, it's kind of recovered a wee bit on Friday. With that tiny little green candle you can see there, and looking at the pre-market price, looks like we're back up to 58.50. So we'll see what happens with that, but the 56 mark was what I deemed to be the next potential resistance, or in this case support on the way down. You can see it was resistance here back in March, good resistance here back in May, had a little flirt with it around this area in June. And well, yeah, it just touched it on the down day on Thursday and has come back up a little bit, and pre-market looks good. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, that was the adjustment I had to make with that trade. I'm quite happy with that. Extra time, extra credit, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Soxal, my lovely problem trade, so I haven't touched that again since what I described on the last video, where I made some well, I won't call them severe adjustments, but some action was needed to take my strike from the 30 covered call up to the 35 covered call area. I did mention in that video that I might have been ahead of the game there, perhaps, because it looked like Soxal was reaching one of its highs. I mean, this 35 level has clearly acted as resistance previously. So I did think it might come back down off that, but I didn't want to wait any longer before I rolled. My covered calls up, because Soxal, being the leveraged ETF that it is, it moves fast when it wants to. And sure enough, it did bounce back down a bit. Where's that going to go now? Who knows? Recent behaviour is makes a new high, has a little bit of a channel before making another new high, so perhaps we'll get a bit of a channel here for some time before the next high. Again, we'll just keep our eye on that one. PayPal. So if you remember my previous video, I increased my covered call on this jump up day here from 70 up to 72. And then it just fell right off. So I've now reduced that covered call down to the 70 level. That was an okay credit for a week. It was 27 cents a share for that. So I've got the 70 level covered call expiring this coming Friday. So we'll see what happens. Pre-market looks like it's a little bit of a jump. Not much though. So we'll keep this protective put in place as it is now. Well, that protective put expires on the 17th of October, so we're getting close to mostly intrinsic value as opposed to time value. So we'll just keep an eye on that, as Theta's working against me on that one. But there's every chance for some reason that PayPal may drop further, and of course if it comes up, I'm more than happy with that. We'll roll our covered call up with it. NU, so this is my long-term leap. It was an earnings play. I bought a leap here expecting or hoping for a good earnings, which we got, and it's now nicely in profit. I mentioned in my last video, this is pretty much a new high for NU for a long time, if ever actually. Oh no, okay, we were up here back in November. So I expected some profit taking to occur at this point, which over the last 4 or 5 days we have seen. I'm fine with that. I have no intention of taking any profit off the leap for a long time yet. I am convinced NU has the capability of hitting at least 20. And my plan with this one is to get in on a few more cash secured puts. I use that premium to offset against the cost of the leap, which obviously increases the profit of the leap when taken, or reduces the loss if NU does not cooperate with my thesis and takes a drop. So not touching that one for a while. If it's now pre-market, it's looking like it's going to open a bit higher. If it comes down, I would look to ideally sell some more cash secure puts around the 14 region. We've got clear support and resistance at this point, so if it can touch 15, it might make the premiums worthwhile. 30 days out for a 14 level put, we'll see. HPE, again, not touched it since the last couple of videos. As I've described, this is my long-term play, another problem child like Soxal. Deep in the money on the covered calls, way below the cost basis. That's fine. Intrinsic value on them is through the roof because they are out to January next year, I believe it is. I'd have to check on that one exactly. Let's have a quick look. HPE. Oh wow, yeah, okay. We've got a long while left on those yet, so I have no issues with that. We'll just continue to hold them, and as we get near to March next year, we'll look to roll them up again and eventually work our way above the cost basis and then on up. Of course, assuming HPE doesn't take a drastic fall between now and then. Celsius Holdings. This is one I was getting I nearly said not nervous about, but this is one I was going to look to roll out and down, just a bit like UPST. However, Friday we had a good rise, and it looks like we're going to open up even higher again. So this one, I might end up getting my 50% profit trigger activated today. We'll see, depending on how if that jump continues. Looks like the support level, although it was never touched, did do its job, and we've rebounded from that. So if I don't get my profit, my take profit hit today, if it does keep rising, I expect that to get hit in another couple of days. So happy with that one. HIMS is playing just like Celsius Holding at the moment. We had a week coming down, which is fine because that's where I sold the cash secured put. You need a red day for some good premiums. Got as low on Thursday as 50, what is that, what's the low on that, 50.70. Friday we had a nice jump, and it looks like we're going to open higher again. Although we are opening right on this resistance level. This has become a new resistance level right here at the 59.22-ish level. So we'll have to see what happens. Sorry, 59.36 that is. Again, I do have a 50% take profit that's still live on this one. So we'll see if I can get that hit and get out of this trade early. So it's that 24th of October, otherwise we're running on this one. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that trade's progressing. No issues. Novo Nordisk, yeah, okay. So I do believe in the company. I do believe it's wildly undervalued, as I discussed in last week's kind of midweek video. The reasons I got into this one. You see, this is why I'm still a novice trader. I mean, I didn't quite take into consideration how close earnings was when I got into this trade, which absolute rookie mistake. And we have missed earnings by a bit by a bit. So I expect well, yeah, as you can see there, pre-market we're looking at 53.94, which is quite considerably below my 56 strike level. What's the plan for this one then? So I've got a huge amount of time left, 24th of October, so I'm not going to do anything at the moment. It is a bit more volatile given earnings. If it does drop, you know, it will come back again. I still believe in this company. I am happy to own it at 56 and do covered calls if I need to. We've got plenty of time to see what happens. I'm not going to take a panic adjustment just because earnings is here and we've missed earnings. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. You know, if it is a steep drop, it might be just as steep a jump up. NVO is very gappy. Look at these candles, big gaps between them all over the place. So yeah, we might get a gap down, but I still think that this company, compared to its closest peers, is undervalued. I think it is on a turnaround, and I just have to be patient with it. So I'm not immediately going to jump in today and make any wild rolls out and downs with this one. We'll just see what happens over the next couple of days. On to Pan American Silver Corporation. So you'll remember from my last couple of videos, I entered this as a hedge and it's done pretty well. I think you can see, let me bring the chart down a bit. We had a nice rise up on Friday. The pre-market looks like another big jump. There is no doubt we're going to get stopped out in a good way on this one today or tomorrow, I would have thought. I have a 50% take profit order on this. I may well, before market opens, increase that to 60. I'm going to increase that to 60% take profit order before market open. Because big jump on Friday, followed by another over $1 jump today, would certainly get us out that trade quickly with you know, what's that, almost 26 days to go in it. Brilliant trade that'll be. I was hoping to stay in the precious metals piece as a hedge for a while, but it's just on a tear. So we'll if it stops out, we'll look at where we reinvest that money. I'd like to keep it in precious metals if I can. So good trade, happy with that one. On to SoFi, my old friend SoFi. Yeah, this trade's just progressing as I kind of expected it. It's come down off those highs, touched 30, big round number, no surprise, a bit of profit taking there. Thursday we had a green day, Friday a little bit of a red day, nothing to worry about. Still way above the strike price. Looks like pre-market we're at 28.46. We might end up in a bit of a channel there for a little while. I'm happy with that trade. Nothing I need to do with that one. We'll just let that continue to run and see what happens over the coming week. All right, short and sweet this week. That's overview of the positions. If I make any more trades this week, I'll upload a video at the time I do them, just describing what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and what my thoughts are. This is a form of journaling for myself, so I need to keep it up and make sure I'm logging those trades as I do them. If not, if the market just kind of is a bit flat and nothing really happens and closes out, I don't have any more trades closing out, which frees up cash for new trades. I will upload my usual Sunday night, Monday morning video next week, reviewing the entire portfolio. Okay all, stay healthy, stay profitable, and I'll see you in a week.